Good morning, guys. I'm Lily. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the drug and alcohol abuse in America, how addiction has grown in America, alcohol and drug abuse statistics in America. If you are thinking of seeking treatment for yourself or a loved one, you are not alone. The number of people suffering from addiction in America is astounding. Let's take a look at some of the numbers, starting with adolescents. This is something strange. They say, now listen good, okay? They say, according to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, 19.7 million American adults aged 12 and older battled a substance use disorder in 2017. 12 years old and older. I don't understand that. A 12-year-old is not an adult. So why are they saying that? 12 years old and older battled a substance use disorder. But it says 19.7 million American adults aged 12 and older battled a substance use disorder. That's not an adult, so I don't know. Almost 74% of adults suffering from a substance use disorder in 2017 struggle with an alcohol use disorder. I believe that. The same year, 1 out of every 8 adults struggle with both alcohol and drug use disorders simultaneously. I believe that, and I think it's more, because most people that I know in counsel are dealing with both, or they're using one when they run out of, like, say, a pill. If they run out of methadone, they'll use alcohol for the methadone withdrawals. If they run out of alcohol, they'll use the methadone for the alcohol withdrawals. So both is being used as a crutch to get through the withdrawals. In 2017, 8.5 million American adults suffered from both a mental health disorder and a substance use disorder or co-occurring disorders. I did. Now, not necessarily in 2017 because I wasn't on drugs or alcohol in 2017, but years ago when I was using prescription pain medication and alcohol, I was dealing with OCD, Tourette's, an eating disorder, anxiety, all of that together with drug use and alcohol use. It's a bad mix, and it can cause you to not be yourself and do very bad things. Drug abuse and addiction cost American society more than $740 billion annually in lost workplace productivity, health care expenses, and crime-related costs. $740 billion annually. But you know what? There's so much money that's being embezzled within our government, from our taxes to just like when they pull you over at a traffic stop and they raid your car and take the drugs and all the money. How come in North and South Carolina, a lot of times they cannot tell you where it's at? If you go to court with some of these drug detectives, they'll claim they destroyed the evidence. It's not every state, but it's definitely North and South Carolina because I went through it. And they'll say they destroyed the evidence before your court date. Why? Because they kept it and they either used it or they sold it. North Carolina is notorious for being known for having drug detectives who are actually strung out. Now, I'm not bashing the police. I'm just saying, back when I was a user, I knew detectives who were at the dealer's house too. That's just real talk. I knew probation officers that were dealing and at the dealer's house and going to the dealer's house to make threats and confiscate what they could get, and then they would go use it. Lawyers too. We had a couple of lawyers who were in big trouble. Causes of addiction. Genetics, including the impact of one's environment on gene expression, account for about 40% to 60% of a person's risk of addiction. Environmental factors that may increase a person's risk of addiction include a chaotic home environment and abuse, parents' drug use and attitude towards drugs, peer influences, community attitudes towards drugs, and poor academic achievement. That's true. Several people that I grew up with, their parents were severely strung out. And a couple of those people today are strung out. Now, I do have several other friends who grew up in drug-fueled homes that are clean and have never touched drugs or alcohol. I don't know. But I know it can play a big part. Your environment does play, because if you tell your kid, oh, this is just cocaine, it's nothing bad, it ain't gonna hurt nobody. When that kid gets about 10, 11 years old, they're gonna think, oh, it's nothing bad, let me try it. Then they're gonna start using it. If you're telling if you're smoking crack like it's nothing, if you're smoking crack like it's a cigarette in front of your kids, they're gonna grow up thinking that crack, oh, that's nothing. And they'll start doing it. Drug and alcohol abuse can be scary. What's more frightening is when you're the one battling a substance use disorder, SUD, or an alcohol use disorder, AUD, and you don't have a solution to the problem. American Addiction Centers provides a 24-hour medical detox, premium treatment, and ongoing care. If you're struggling with an AUD or SUD and are looking for a solution, reach out to one of our admissions navigators at 888-869-1307 to get the help you need today. Again, that number, 888-869-1307. Find drug and alcohol treatment centers near you. Now, you can also go on Google, if you have Google, on your phone, your computer, or whatever you're using, and you can type in drug treatment facility near me. Have your location on, and it'll pop up, places, and you can call them. If you get Medicaid, they may accept that. You may have to pay cash. I don't know. It's different for everybody, honestly. Sorry. The thing is, though, like with me, I went through, first off, I tried to do it cold turkey. Doing it cold turkey, it messed me up bad, because I thought I was so tough, such a Billy Badass, that I could just cut it off after, several years of taking this stuff every day, every couple hours. I was taking, when I started to get the first treatment, I was up to like 6 Percocets at a time at about 4 times a day. That's 24 pills. To a pain pill addict, that's nothing. We know people that are eating 20 Xanax at one time. We know people that are taking 10 Percocet at one time. And it's scary, because it needs to be understood that it's dangerous. One pill is dangerous. You would think that a pill so small wouldn't be so scary. That pill that's so tiny can control your whole life. It controlled my life. It controlled where I went. It controlled who I was friends with. These little pills, these little Percocet, Roxycet, hydrocodone, Xanax, they controlled what I ate, when I ate, where I worked, how long I was going to work. Was I going to have to leave work because I was withdrawing? Was I even going to be able to get up and go to work because I was withdrawing? I would wake up in the morning for these pills. If I had a bunch of pills, I would wake up excited because I knew I had pills and I was going to feel great that day. But when you get down to that last one, that's when reality sets in and you realize, oh crap, I'm about to go through withdrawals. Then I got to find more. That is no way to have to be. Let me tell you from experience, that is no way to have to live your life every day. And I know it's easier said than done to sit here and tell you, get clean, be sober. I'm not just telling you that. I'm telling you I did it. And baby, if I can do it, you can do it. If my best friend, I love him so much, bless his heart, he went 20 years abusing cocaine, heroin, pain pills, alcohol, anything basically that he could get his hands on. 20 years. This man had overdosed, can't count how many times, but even before the Narcan came out. They pumped him full of so much charcoal, it's ridiculous. This man watched 2 people die, one time in a hotel room and another time at the beach at a club, because they were shooting up drugs. And the second guy that actually passed away, my friend helped him he held his arm so the boy could shoot, and then when the boy couldn't get the plunger to go, the friend pushed the plunger. He was arrested. It's a big deal. But since COVID has started, it was bad before COVID. Let me tell you now, it was bad before COVID. I got robbed 3 times last year. Once at my house, 2 times at my car at Walmart. Those 3 times that we caught the people who did it, they were all going through withdrawals, either from crack, from pills, or meth. And that was their reasoning for breaking into my car, and that was their reasoning for getting in all that trouble. And it's not an excuse. It's never an excuse. But things like those kinds of drugs, I know they're legalizing pot in a lot of states, but you have to be careful with pot too. These people, these dealers out here, they're not your friends. They're not your friends. I don't care if your mama's the dealer, if your uncle's the dealer, your girlfriend's cousin's the dealer. They're not your friends. They're there to make money. And they will cut that stuff with whatever they can find. It'll be baby laxative, baking soda powder. It'll be rat poison, fentanyl. They're lacing heroin, and they're lacing pot with fentanyl. They're lacing it with anything they can find to make more money off of it. You can't just... This isn't the 60s. You know what I'm saying? You can't just trust pot like you used to. And then you look back take a minute and think back to the 60s and 70s at how many celebrities died from drug overdose, for shooting drugs. Think about your family, your children. They would want you to live. I want you to live. The dealer is not your friend. I learned that the hard way. You are your best friend. You have to get you help. Whether it's drug addiction, porn addiction, sex addiction, eating disorder, domestic violence, self-harm, whatever it is, you have to get treatment. Proper treatment. You can't go and lock yourself in a bedroom and have your family in the other room and just stay in that bedroom all day long. You know what I'm saying? You have to get help. You have to get safe treatment. Safely get treatment. Like with eating disorder. We all see what's happening with Eugenia Cooney over the past couple years. Her family does nothing. She's done nothing until Jacqueline, done the intervention and it was forced upon her, but she left it. Her family, they are living in the same home as her, and they allow her to put herself in that bedroom and lock the door and stay on the camera and on games and on the internet all day and playing with her toys while she's slowly fading away. I'm not going to tell this whole story again, but for people who don't know, I lost one of my bestest, closest friends to ED. This girl was my sister. We did everything together. And I had to watch her leave this earth. And I enabled her. Me and several other people enabled her to make her feel better. We complimented her. We told her she looked great when she didn't. We told her everything's going to be okay when we knew it wasn't. Doctors told us, stop enabling her. Force her into treatment. And we would force her in the treatment. Who do you think was the first one to pull up when she would call to leave? Me. I would force her, with her mama, I would force her into treatment. And then as soon as she picked that phone up and threatened to not be my friend no more, I was in my car on my way to get her. Because I loved her so much and I didn't want to lose her as a best friend. I didn't want to lose her as my sister. I didn't think about losing her altogether. And if I had known what I know now back then, she would have been in treatment from the get-go. Instead of me watching her slowly fade away, just like Eugenia is. Eugenia's family, they can say what they want, but it's the same thing as elderly abuse. If the state walks in your house today and they see that there's an old man or woman on the bed who looks like Eugenia does, they're going to lock your ass up because that's elderly abuse. If they find a child in that condition, that's child abuse, child neglect. That's called elderly abuse and neglect. So what's going on with Eugenia is abuse and neglect. Even though they're not physically beating her, it's still neglect and abuse because they're not doing anything about it. And see, when she would leave her mama's house and call me, I would let her come. I shouldn't have done that. I should have told her, no, you're going to treatment. You, your mama, and me are taking you. And then if she fought back and left, I shouldn't have run to her. Let her go. Because she will come back and go to treatment. She has nowhere else to go. That's the same situation with Eugenia. If her mama would put her foot down and force her into treatment. But from what I hear, Jacqueline says that her mama tells her not to go into treatment. Jacqueline has allegations that Eugenia told her that Eugenia's mama guilt trips her into not going into treatment and tells her that her mom says that she has a weak heart and that if Eugenia goes into treatment, it will kill her mom because her mom has a weak heart. How dare you? If that's true, Miss Eugenia Cooney's mama, if that's true, how dare you? I hope that's not true. And I hope you see this, because if you are telling your daughter that you have a weak heart and her going into treatment would kill you, that is disgusting. That is awful. And that's what people say that Eugenia's told them. Now, I don't know that Eugenia ain't playing both sides. All I know is, once you lose people to ED, you start to think back because the guilt sets in. I feel guilty every day. Not only for what I did to my own body, but what I knew my best friend was doing to her body. And we lost her at 24 years old. You know, when you're with somebody almost every day of your life, and you believe truly that you're helping them, and you think you're helping them more than you're helping yourself. But then a doctor, an actual expert, tells you you're enabling her. Enablers are just as bad as the people who are enabled. You don't want to believe that, but it's true. I am living proof that it's true. I was the enabler. Just like Eugenia's mama is her enabler. If I'd have known that showering her with compliments when her ribs were sticking out was wrong, I would never have done it. But I thought, because when you're growing up, you're taught to be nice, to be positive, to build your friends and other women up, to give them a good self-esteem, strong self-esteem. We are taught that. Where I come from, it's embedded in your brain, sisterhood. You love your girls, you love your sisters, it's your sisterhood. And you do whatever you can do for them, and you support them, and you love them, and you help them anytime they need. And you don't turn your backs on them, and that's what I thought I was doing. And I've tried to send the message out, and I'm still trying. And this video isn't intended for Eugenia or any of that. But I'm just saying, Eugenia, if y'all see this, you need to go into treatment, honey. You're getting paid by these sponsors. All these pedos are in the chat rooms giving donations to watch you do things to stress your body and get your body all worked up. And they want to watch you struggle to lift boxes, and they're calling you drug addict. They're calling you all these names, and they're beating their meat watching you do this stuff. That's not good for you or your fans. It's disturbing. And the fact that Twitch and YouTube allows it is shocking to me. But I'll guarantee you, what I just said, YouTube will either delete it or I won't ever be able to get money off that video. Because I can't say the word vagina or pussy or child assault or sexual assault or predator or pedophile, but they can show their vaginas on YouTube. They can show their eating disorders how bad it's gotten, like Eugenia. They can show that on YouTube and get sponsors and get AdSense and Patreons and get paid for it. But I can't say the word eating disorder. But yet I can starve myself and show you my eating disorder. But I can't say the word eating disorder. What kind of sense does that make? None. YouTube, get it together. Twitch, get it together. It's ridiculous. But guys, hit me up on my social media if you want to talk. It's COVID. You know, we don't have no friends. Yeah, I work and I stay busy, but still, I'm here. Just like I'm fixing to answer this new subscriber here, right here in just a minute when I get off of here. I love that I'm getting subscribers because I'm talking to so many new people that I never knew before. I'm hearing so many more stories about their experiences, and I love this. It feels so good to know that you're not the only one out here dealing with this stuff. It feels amazing to know that you help someone. You know, I don't expect to be PewDiePie. I don't expect to be Markiplier. I don't expect my subs to jump up to the millions. You know, I don't expect thousands of views. What I do expect is for me to interact with that one person, 5 persons, 20 people, whatever it is. And we help each other. And we save a life, maybe more. You know, we support each other. We build a community to help each other. That's what I'm looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to work towards and build up to, is us building a community where we can talk about this stuff. Where we can get these predators off these platforms. Like the guy that killed his pregnant girlfriend. He had been abusing her on YouTube and them other apps. He'd been doing it. They didn't do anything about it. They kept paying him. We have to step up and say something. And yes, I know I've got some haters who are commenting saying that we got enough people talking about that. We don't need to hear you talking about it either. I don't care, because I am going to talk about it. And I want you to talk about it too. This is why things get swept under the rug, because people don't want to talk about it. Or, Repson's already covered it. We don't need to hear about it again. Or, Keemstar, he's already talked about it. We don't need to hear it again. It don't matter. Everybody needs to talk about it, because Repsion's going to have one version. Keemstar's going to have his version. Ready to Glare's going to have her version. I'm going to have my version. Everyone's going to have their own version, but everybody is sharing awareness. Edwin's generation. Everybody sharing awareness. You know, even if it's only a minute-long video or a comment. You know, share the video. You don't even have to like, subscribe. You don't have to talk, anything. Just share the video somewhere, to your Facebook page or Twitter. You know, or if you just want to talk to me, DM me. I'm on Twitter, Southern Gal Lily. If you want to talk to me on here, you know, I've already done my email. My email's in the comments. Email me. We'll talk. I'm here for you. I'm not going to be like some of these other YouTubers that ignore their groups and their communities or demand money to talk to them. That's not me. This is free. This is always going to be free. I love you guys, and I hope to hear from you very soon.